We are back, and we first wanted to have a little product placement for Main Street Cafe.
Sandra, I'll take the invoice to whatever email you have of mine.
Yeah.
The product placement this morning.
No kidding. I want to talk first. I know you have another blog this week, but I want to talk first about Burger King and McDonald's. Goodness. That went crazy fast.
It's insane. It is officially known on Twitter as Hack Week. You know, like, because Burger King, Jeep, MTV, BET, all have got hacked this week by this anonymous group, which, if you heard of them, they're like the professional hackers.
But when it first started happening, I was just perusing my feed, and I noticed some guy posted, Burger King, hey, your password should be a little more secure than like Burger King 1234 or whatever it was.
The rumor is that their password was Whopper 123.
Yeah.
Highly doubt that. I mean, these people that are hacking these accounts, they just don't get lucky and just like, oh, let's try Whopper once. Like, they know what they're doing. They're going into the back end system and like somehow getting access to these accounts. They're not guessing Whopper 123. They're a little bit more professional.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And if Burger King, if that really was their password, call me. We need it. We need to talk about stuff.
But let's just talk a little bit about what happened, because they reposted with McDonald's pictures, and they said that they were bought out by McDonald's.
Yeah.
And to somebody who was just actually perusing, they would really think that was the case, especially with everything that's been going on in media.
So they changed their Twitter profile picture to the McDonald's logo. They even went in depth of changing the Twitter header photo in the profile as like a McDonald's chicken nose of their fish bites they have right now. So it was pretty intense. And the same thing they did with MTV and BET. They switched them. Like, so MTV was bought out by BET and then vice versa. So, I mean, these guys, I mean, they're insane and they know what they're doing. You know,
but what would be the purpose of that? I mean, why is that funny?
I don't know if it's funny. Well, they probably laugh at it at some point. But like their group, this anonymous group that's doing these hackings, they're the kind of guys that, you know, say down with the man, you know, the big corporation, like all of that type of stuff. So if you look back on the history of who they've hacked, it's been large corporations that they're hacking. So that's why they're doing it. And, you know, they wear the mask from, what movie was it? Some movie where they had this mask, and it's literally like an organization, this anonymous organization. And this is their goal, to hack people online, big organizations, to prove their point of something.
That they can do that.
That they can, and these huge corporations aren't as powerful as they think they are. It's really interesting.
Some of the posts were funny, but I mean, it got to the point where I just started just rolling over it. Because
and what they did was, a lot of it was really inappropriate, which is terrible for the brand. You know, but
free advertising, I guess.
Which is kind of the controversy there, because Burger King at the start of this only had 30,000 Twitter followers.
I saw that.
Which is really embarrassing for them. You're Burger King. How do you only have?
But they didn't tweet that much either. There weren't very many. Posts.
But now they've got over 100. You know, so I heard somebody say it's the best marketing strategy Burger King's ever had. You know,
because
so
it's going against what the initial idea was.
Burger King, which is really cool to see how the brands reacted when they got access back. You know, because Burger King said, hello to all of our new people, have it your way today. You know, so like they're taking advantage of it almost. You know, and Jeep said something like, well, that definitely wasn't a Jeep thing, because, you know, like the Jeep phrase, it's a Jeep thing.
Their tagline.
So the first tweet back was that
it was
definitely
a Jeep thing, and I didn't understand.
He said that definitely wasn't a Jeep thing, but we're behind the driver's wheel now. You know, so they took advantage of it as much as they could by getting all these new followers and attention, and they did a good job of putting brand messaging back where all these new Twitter followers were there to make fun of it. You know, not be like, oh, those guys are jerks. You know, they didn't turn into like 13-year-old crying girls. You know, they took advantage of it. They were mature about the situation.
But let's be honest, some of the posts that they were going up, you obviously knew was not the company.
Oh, yeah. And if you were looking around, everybody was saying it. Like, oh, so-and-so got hacked. Oh, so-and-so got hacked.
Right.
You know, so if you're paying attention, you knew everybody was getting hacked. Right. So, yeah, but that wasn't the point of Anonymous. You know, they're crazy. Yeah. I mean, we're not worried about getting hacked by them, you know, because we're just exactly, we're just a smaller company, but it should be interesting because it's only Wednesday, And all these hacks have happened just on Tuesday. We've still got a whole week, or like half a week.
You don't know who's next.
Yeah, we don't know. It should be interesting.
But I want to bring it back to your blog. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk about making a video.
Awesome.
We'll be right back. We are back, and we are making a marketing video.
Yeah.
The very first thing we need to do, have a plan.
You've got to have a plan, you know, and as well with any type of content you're putting out there. And we talked about content last week. You got to know what you're doing. You know, you've got to have steps, and you've got to, with a video, maybe it's a storyboard, step by step what's going on in the video, and you've got to have an opener. You've got to know what the guts of the video is, and what we like to call is a call to action at the end. You know, calling people maybe to buy your product, or maybe the call to action is to leave a comment, or maybe to share this video, or something like that. But you've got to give them some type of direction at the end.
Okay.
But same with a blog post. You want to think about it, before you put it out there into the world. So we'll get that in the last point, but you really have to think about it, because like we keep saying, every little thing you put out there has got to be good. Has got to be good, good content, because I think I said this last week, but when's the last time you shared a mediocre YouTube video? It doesn't happen. People don't share YouTube videos that are just, I halfway enjoyed that. They don't share that. So you want to make sure that everything you're putting out there is solid content that people are enjoying. And to do that, you've got to plan it out.
And now, do you recommend, I guess, videos for everyone, all clients, all businesses, or do you just say maybe this kind of client, this particular person?
Yeah. Well, I don't think every business right now is ready to do video, because to do video, you really have to have the right person. I mean, the Kokomo Perspective has found you. You're lively. You're good on. Yeah. I mean, but you know how to hold an interview. But if they didn't have that particular employee that was good on camera, that was good with people, then they're not ready for video. Because I don't care if you've got the most beautiful production set, you've got like a $5,000 camera, but if that person isn't, or the person on the other side of the camera isn't likable or isn't enjoying it, the video is not going to be good. So make sure inside of your company you've got someone who is really good with people, is lively, is open to the idea.
Or even search someone out, maybe not necessarily in the company, but is fully aware of what you're trying to get your message across.
Yeah, so just make sure that person, it's really important that they're into it. Because if they're not, it's going to show.
And excited about it, would you say that's...
Yeah. So if you got someone, they might be lively, they might be great with people, but the second you mention putting them on camera, they're like, oh, I don't know. They're not your person. Because that's going to show in the video. So, make sure you have a plan of what's going to be in it, how you're going to call people to action at the end, and make sure the planning of the people actually in the video is happening also. If they need coaching, send them some blog tips, or have them look up some research of what it takes to be good on video. So plan all of that out.
And you also said something about making it worth their time.
Yeah.
Can you go into depth about that? Because I think it needs a little more explanation about what that means.
Well, it just goes back to that thing. You have to make it worth their time. So going back to that same thing we said about a blog post, you got to know your target market. You got to know what they're interested in, what they're searching for. And the same thing with blog posts. This video isn't about you. This video isn't about the community manager personally. It's about the person watching the video. So make sure that the video you're making is going to serve them, bring them value in some way, so that they will enjoy it more. When they enjoy it, they're going to share it more. And when they do share it more, they're going to know, or the people that are going to be seeing that when they're sharing it, they're going to see that, oh, so-and-so really likes this. I should watch it. They're almost have built up this passion about this video. I should watch it too. So, and it just, once again, make sure it's good. Make sure you're proud of that video.
And I was going to kind of mention that as well, because you also want to piggyback on, you hold a certain respect for that business, and it's going to be out there. Once you hit send or share or view, it's out there and you can't take it back. It's a lot of what we see in the scandal magazines when a celebrity acts a certain way and then they're not proud of that. There's nothing they can do to take that back.
Yeah. And video is something that's going to be out there for a while. I mean, you can delete it on your YouTube account, but by the time it's on YouTube, some other websites might have linked onto it and put it on there. I mean, so make sure you're proud of it.
And it reflects your business properly. I know that wasn't part of it, but I feel like it kind of piggybacks that a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm going to throw you under the bus and maybe share a little guidance. If they're wanting to get started, what do they do?
Well, luckily for them, there are so many camera options out there that aren't expensive, you know, in this technology and digital world. I mean, I know flip cameras went out of business, but flip camera, you can still find them on eBay and other stuff like that, is a great, maybe a $50 camera that shoots HD, that has a decent mic on it, that, you know, you can start there. It's going to be a good quality video, and, you know, which is important. You don't want to be shooting with some old school, you know, type of camera that isn't HD or anything like that. So you want to make sure you're finding a good camera, and lucky for you, there's tons of options that are really inexpensive. So, you know, start with the camera, and don't go out there and buy some $10,000 camera right off the bat, because then you might
You're probably not going to get your investment back.
Exactly. Well, not quickly, at least. So make sure, you know, you're spending not a crazy amount on a camera to start off. You know, you can build up to that when you start seeing revenue coming in from these videos. But, you know, start with a basic camera and really just find the person, and then if you find that right person who's on the other side of the camera, they're going to have ideas, because they're passionate about this, remember? So, you know, they want this to do well, so they're going to have ideas for the video. And then just, you know, go through, like I said, a storyboard. And if you guys don't know what a storyboard is, it really is almost frame by frame what this video is going to be seen, or what this video is going to be about, and what people are going to see, which is really cool. You know, it's really, if you want to talk about planning, a storyboard is a really intensive way of planning a video. You know, so start with that, you know, and really make sure you're planned, you know what you're doing, and you watch the video over and over to see if there's anything you can change. And, you know, there's tons of simple editing programs out there also. If you guys are Mac people, iMovie is really simple, really easy, and they've got some really cool features on there.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, just start there. Get a decent camera. Don't get just some crappy thing you find in the basement.
And lastly, how long should that video be? 20 seconds, 30 seconds?
The rule, and I feel like the more time that goes on in society, that gets smaller and smaller. Because when I started doing social media, the rule was always 3 to 5 minutes. But, you know, now people are saying, try to keep it under 2. And there was a new study that came out that said 50% of people are more likely to watch the whole video if it's under 1 minute than if it is 2 minutes. So, you know, I still say 3 to 5 is okay if your content is good. You know, if you can hold up 3 to 5 minutes of solid, entertaining, you know, building something content, you should be okay. But if it's, you know, let's say you've got an idea for a video that's going to be 10 minutes, break it into a series. You know, let's say there's a part 1, part 2, part 3. And that kind of makes people want to come back even more. You know, oh, I got to check out next week for part 2 if the part 1 was good enough. So if you got an idea that's going to be 10 to 15 minutes, there's no problem at all breaking it up into segments, making it 3 to 5 minutes each.
Great. Yeah. Well, I thank you so much for coming in again and making this a weekly venture between you and I. We'll be right back.